The trading station smelled like oil and burnt metal. Taman walked through the crowded corridors with his bag slung over one shoulder. His boots made soft sounds on the floor panels. He needed money. His ship needed repairs. The pirates had damaged the hull last week, and now he was broke. Haven 7 was not a good place. Everyone here was running from something or looking for something. Traders shouted prices in a dozen languages. Smugglers whispered in dark corners. Taman kept his head down and moved toward the equipment dealer. The shop was small and cluttered. Weapons hung on the walls. Old ship parts filled the shelves. A tall alien with 6 arms stood behind the counter. Taman put his bag down and started pulling out items. Military rations. A damaged plasma rifle. Some old targeting scopes. 20 credits for the lot, the dealer said without looking up. 50, Taman said. 25. Final offer, Taman sighed. He needed the money too badly to argue. He nodded and reached for his bag to pull out the last few items. As he lifted it, the bottom tore open. Everything spilled across the floor. "Watch it," someone yelled. A young female alien jumped back as metal objects scattered around her feet. She had crystalline skin that glowed with soft blue light. Her people were called Velocians. Taman had seen a few before, but never spoken to one. They were rare. Most of them had died 20 years ago when their world was destroyed. "Sorry," Taman muttered. He dropped to his knees and started gathering his things. The girl knelt down to help. Her fingers were long and delicate. She picked up a wrapped cloth bundle and started to hand it to him. Then she stopped. Her eyes went wide. The glow under her skin flickered. "What is this?" she whispered. Taman looked up. His stomach dropped. She had unwrapped the cloth. In her hands was the blade. His family's blade, the one thing he was not supposed to sell. "Give it back," he said quickly. He reached for it, but she held it away from him. Her eyes were fixed on the metal. The blade was old, very old. The edge was worn but still sharp. The handle was wrapped in faded leather. Strange symbols ran along the length of the blade. "These marks," she said. Her voice shook. "This is human writing." "Korean script." "Yes, now give it back. It says my name." She looked up at him. Her face showed fear and confusion. "Right here. It says Yuna, that is my name. Why is my name carved on a human blade?" Taman stared at her. That was impossible. The blade was hundreds of years old. It had been passed down through his family for generations. His father gave it to him before he died. His grandmother had carried it in the reunification wars on Earth. "You are wrong," he said. "That blade belonged to my great-great-great-grandmother. She died centuries ago." "I can read," Yuna said. Her glow brightened with anger. "This is my name. In your language. On your weapon." "Tell me why." People were starting to stare. Taman grabbed the blade from her hands and wrapped it quickly. He shoved it into his jacket. His heart was beating too fast. This did not make sense. How could she have the same name as one of the carvings on the blade? "It had to be a coincidence. It is just a name," he said. "Lots of people have the same name." "Not Velocians," she said. She stood up, so did he. "We choose our names when we reach adult age. I chose mine 3 years ago. No one in my family has this name. No one in my clan has ever had this name. I chose it from a human database because I liked the sound. And here it is, carved on an ancient earth weapon." "Explain that." Taman could not explain it. He did not want to explain it. He wanted to get his money and leave this station and forget this conversation ever happened. "I cannot help you," he said. He turned back to the dealer. Yuna grabbed his arm. Her grip was stronger than he expected. "That blade means something. I can feel it. Please, I need to understand." Before Taman could answer, alarms started screaming. Red lights flashed in the corridor. People started running. The dealer's voice came over the shop speakers in a harsh growl. "Station under attack. All civilians to emergency shuttles." "This is not a drill," Taman cursed. "More pirates, or worse." He grabbed his bag and the credits the dealer threw at him. He pushed past Yuna and ran toward the docking bay where his ship waited, but she followed him. Her footsteps were light and fast behind his. The station shook. Something exploded in the distance. Smoke began filling the corridors. "Where are you going?" She shouted over the alarms. "My ship. If you want to live, find an emergency pod. Take me with you." "No. I saved your equipment from being crushed. You owe me." Another explosion. This one was closer. The lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in, painting everything red. Taman could see armed figures at the end of the corridor. They wore black armor, not pirates, something else. He made a decision he knew he would regret. He grabbed Yuna's hand and pulled her into a side passage. They ran together through the smoke and chaos. Her hand felt strange in his, warm. Her skin hummed with energy. "What is happening?" she asked. "I do not know." "Just run." They turned a corner and nearly ran into 3 attackers. Taemin raised his fist, but Yuna moved faster. She ducked under the first attacker's gun and struck him in the throat. He fell. She spun and kicked the second one in the knee. Something cracked. The third one aimed at her, but Taemin hit him from the side. They kept running. Taemin's mind raced. How did she know how to fight like that? Those moves looked familiar. They looked like Korean martial arts, specifically like Haedong Gumdo sword forms adapted for hand-to-hand combat. But that was impossible. Velocians had no connection to Earth combat styles. The docking bay doors were ahead. Taemin pulled out his access card and slammed it against the panel. The doors opened slowly. Too slowly. Behind them, more attackers appeared. Come on, Taemin muttered. The doors opened enough for them to slip through. They ran across the bay toward his ship. It was a small vessel, built for speed, not comfort. An old man stood at the boarding ramp. He had gray hair and a scarred face. "Taemin, about time," the old man shouted. "Who is that?" "Hyunwoo, start the engines." Taemin yelled back. They reached the ramp. All 3 of them rushed inside. The ship lurched as Hyunwoo fired up the thrusters. The boarding ramp was still closing when the ship lifted off the deck. Taemin strapped into a seat. Yuna grabbed a handhold on the wall. The ship spun and dove through the docking bay exit. Behind them, Haven 7 was coming apart. Fires burned in multiple sections. Ships were fleeing in all directions. Hyunwoo pushed the throttle forward. The ship accelerated hard. Taemin's stomach pressed against his spine. Beside him, Yuna held on tight. Her face showed no fear, just determination. "We are clear," Hyunwoo called from the cockpit. "Station reactor is going critical. 30 seconds until it blows." The ship's rear camera showed Haven 7 growing smaller. Then it flashed white. The explosion was silent in space, but beautiful and terrible. Where the station had been, there was now just expanding debris. Taemin let out a long breath. They were alive. Somehow, Yuna released the handhold and looked at him. "Now," she said, "we talk about that blade." The ship moved through empty space. Taemin sat in the common area with Yuna across from him. Hyunwoo was still in the cockpit, checking for pursuit. The blade lay on the table between them, unwrapped. 3 questions, Taemin said. "You can ask 3 questions. Then you leave at the next station." Yuna stared at the blade. Her fingers traced the air above the carved symbols. She did not touch the metal. "Why 3? "Because I am being generous." "You could have 0 questions." She looked up at him. Her eyes were strange colors, like oil on water. "Fine, first question. How old is this blade?" Taemin picked it up. The weight felt familiar in his hands. His father had let him hold it once when he was a boy. Just once. Before the sickness took him. 437 years, he said. It was made on Earth in Korea, before the colony ships left. It belonged to my great-great-great-grandmother. Her name was Jiwoo. She carried it in the wars. The reunification wars. 437 years, Yuna repeated. She was quiet for a moment. I am 17 years old. By human counting, I was born in 2827. This blade is older than anyone in my entire clan. Yes. Second question. Her glow flickered. Taemin was learning that meant she was nervous. When was my name carved into it? This was the part he did not understand. The part that made no sense. Taemin set the blade down carefully. According to family records, he said slowly, Jiwoo carved it the day before she died. The year was 2410. I was told she carved it in her tent the night before the last battle. No one knows why. Yuna went very still. Her glow faded until she barely lit the room. That is 417 years before I was born. Yes. That is impossible. I know. Hyunwoo came into the room. He was carrying 3 cups of something hot. He set them on the table and sat down. His old eyes looked at the blade, then at Yuna, then at Taemin. You told her? Hyunwoo asked. Told me what? Yuna said quickly. Taemin turned to his old friend. What are you talking about? Hyunwoo sighed. He looked very tired. I served with your father, Taemin. You know that. What you do not know is that your father told me things. Things about that blade. Things his grandfather told him. What things? Taemin felt cold. There are not just one name carved on it, Hyunwoo said. There are 17 names. Most of them are hidden. You need special light to see them, UV light. Jiwoo carved them all over her lifetime. In different places on the blade. Taemin grabbed the blade and looked at it closely. He had never checked it under UV light. Why would he? He turned it over in his hands. In normal light, he could only see one name clearly. The one Yuna had found. Why did she carve 17 names? Yuna asked. No one knows for sure, Hyunwoo said. But your father believed Taemin that Jiwoo saw things. In dreams or visions. She saw people she had never met. People from the future. She carved their names because she believed they would be important. That they would do something that mattered. That is crazy, Taemin said. Maybe. But 9 of those 17 people have appeared in history. Real people. With those exact names. And every single one of them did something important. Usually something that saved lives. Human lives. Yuna's third question came out as a whisper. How many of them are still alive? Hyunwoo met her eyes. 3, including you. If you are really the Yuna that Jiwoo saw, the ship's alarm started beeping. Hyunwoo jumped up and ran to the cockpit. Taemin and Yuna followed. The screen showed multiple contacts. Big contacts. A fleet, what is that? Taemin asked. Hyunwoo pulled up the identification data. His face went pale. Dominion Collective. A whole battle group. 30 capital ships, maybe 5,000 smaller vessels. Taemin had heard of the Dominion Collective. Everyone had. They were machines. Artificial intelligence that had gone wrong centuries ago. They consumed entire civilizations, turned organic life into resources. Most species ran from them. What are they doing in this sector? Yuna whispered. Heading toward the human core worlds, Hyunwoo said. He tapped the screen. Look at the trajectory. They will reach the colonies in 3 days. We need to warn them, Taemin said. No one will listen to us, Hyunwoo said. We are nobody. We have no proof. By the time we convince anyone, it will be too late. Yuna gripped the edge of the console. Her glow brightened. My people died because of them. 20 years ago. The Dominion came to our worlds. They took everything. Billions of us died in 1 week. Only a few thousand escaped. I was 5 years old. Taemin looked at her. Really looked at her. She was young. Too young to have survived something like that, but the pain in her eyes was very old. I am sorry, he said. Sorry does not help. She turned to face both of them. But maybe we can. Is there any way to stop them? Slow them down? Anything? Hyunwoo shook his head. Not with one ship. We would need an army. Then we find an army, Yuna said. Or we find something else. There has to be a way. Taemin wanted to tell her it was hopeless, that they should run like everyone else. But something stopped him. Maybe it was the way she looked at him. Maybe it was the blade. Maybe it was the impossible coincidence of her name carved by his ancestor. There is someone we can contact, he said slowly, an archaeologist. She studies old artifacts, pre-contact stuff, things that should not exist but do. My father mentioned her once. Said she knew about the blade, about Jiwoo. What is her name? Yuna asked. Sora, Dr. Sora. She works at a research station near the Outer Rim. Hyunwoo was already pulling up communication channels. I will try to reach her. No promises. While they waited, Taemin took the blade back to the common area. Yuna followed. He found a UV light in the supply locker and turned it on. He held the blade under the purple glow. More names appeared. Faint, carefully carved, all in Hangul script. Taemin recognized some of them. One name belonged to a pilot who had saved a colony ship during the migration. Another belonged to a doctor who stopped a plague on Mars. A third name matched a soldier who held a defensive line long enough for civilians to evacuate. All of them were dead now. All of them had died doing something brave. Yuna's name was the 9th carved. It glowed under the UV light. Below it were 8 more names. 8 people who might still be out there, or might already be dead without anyone knowing. Your grandmother saw all of this? Yuna asked softly. I guess so. Did she see what happens next? Taemin turned off the UV light. I do not know. Maybe Sora can tell us, Hyunwoo's voice came through the speakers. Got her. Dr. Sora is on the line. She wants to talk to both of you. They went back to the cockpit. An old woman's face appeared on the screen. She had white hair and sharp eyes. She looked at Taemin, then at Yuna. Then her eyes went to the blade in Taemin's hand. You have it, she said. Ji-Woo's blade. I never thought I would see it. You know about it? Taemin asked. I have studied it for 20 years. Not the blade itself, but the legend of it. Ji-Woo was not just a soldier. She was something more. Something the military tried to hide. She experienced temporal echo syndrome. Her consciousness touched other timelines, other possibilities. She saw fragments of the future. That is impossible, Taemin said. Lots of things are impossible until they happen, Sora said. And standing next to you is one of those impossible things. A Velocian girl whose name is carved on a blade from 400 years ago. Tell me, child. What is your name? Yuna, she said quietly. Sora smiled, but it was a sad smile. The 9th name. I wondered when you would appear. I hoped you would not. Because if you are here, it means the 9th crisis has begun. What crisis? Yuna asked. The Dominion, Sora said. They are coming. And according to Ji-Woo's journals, which I found in a military archive, you are the one who has to stop them. The ship went very quiet. Outside the windows, stars moved slowly past. Inside, 3 humans and 1 Velocian stared at each other. How? Yuna finally asked. I do not know yet, Sora said. But I know where we can find out. There is a moon. Tal 3, it used to be a Velocian outpost. Abandoned after the invasion. But before they left, they hid something there. Something that might help. What? Taemin asked. An archive. And possibly a weapon, if we are lucky. If Ji-Woo's vision was right. Yuna looked at Taemin. He looked back at her. Neither of them spoke. They did not need to. They both knew what they had to do. Set course for Tal 3, Taemin told Hyunwoo. The old pilot nodded and turned back to his controls. The ship changed direction. Behind them, the Dominion fleet moved toward human space. Ahead of them, a mystery waited. And somewhere between past and future, an old soldier's vision was slowly coming true. The moon Tal 3 was gray and dead. No atmosphere, no life. Just rock and dust in the ruins of what used to be a Velocian city. Taemin looked at it through the window and felt sadness. This had been someone's home once. Yuna stood beside him. Her glow was very dim. She pressed one hand against the glass. I was born on the sister moon, she said quietly. Tal 4. We could see Tal 3 in the sky every night. My mother used to tell me stories about the people who lived here. Artists and scientists. They made beautiful things. What happened to Tal 4? Taemin asked. The Dominion cracked it in half. Nothing survived. Hyunwoo landed the ship near the largest ruin. They put on environment suits and walked across the surface. The gravity was light. Each step sent them floating forward. The entrance to the archive was hidden under fallen stone. It took an hour to clear it. When they finally opened the door, lights flickered on inside. Emergency power still working after 20 years. They walked down into the darkness. The walls were covered in Velocian script. Yuna stopped to read some of it. Her hand touched the symbols gently. These are poems, she said. About home, about missing the sun. Deeper in, they found the main chamber. It was huge, filled with crystal pillars that reached from floor to ceiling. Each pillar glowed with stored data. Thousands of years of Velocian history preserved. And in the center of the room, one pillar was different. It was darker, older, covered in symbols that even Yuna did not recognize at first. This is ancient Velocian, she said, from before we reached the stars. This is maybe 10,000 years old. She touched the pillar. It reacted to her. Light flowed up from where her hand rested. Images appeared in the air. A Velocian elder, female, very old. She was carving something into stone. This is a recording, Yuna whispered. A memory, the elder spoke. The language was old, but Yuna could understand it. She translated for Taemin and Hyunwoo. I am keeper of the crystal path. I have seen the dark tide that comes. Machines without souls. They will consume the light of our people. But there is hope. I have seen it in my dreams. A crystal walker will rise, one who bridges 2 species, one who carries the blade of the far people. Together they will hold back the darkness. The image changed. The elder was now carving names into the crystal pillar, names in Velocian script. Yuna moved around the pillar. She found one name that made her stop breathing. She read it out loud. The sounds were strange, musical. What does it mean? Taemin asked. In your language, Yuna said slowly. It means Taemin. The room went silent. Taemin walked over and looked at the carving. He could not read it, but he believed her. His name, carved by an alien prophet 10,000 years ago. How? He asked. The same way Jiwoo carved mine, Yuna said. Somehow they saw us. Both of them. From different species. Different times. They saw the same future. Hyunwoo was studying another part of the pillar. There is more here. Technical information, blueprints, it looks like weapon designs. They pulled up the data. It showed a device called the resonance engine. The description was complex, but the purpose was clear. It could disrupt Dominion networks. Shut down their consciousness. Stop them from coordinating. This could work, Hyunwoo said. If we could build it. The archive has the parts, Yuna said. She was reading faster now, pulling up inventory lists. They stored everything here, materials, tools. They were going to use this to fight back. But they ran out of time. How does it work? Taemin asked. Yuna went quiet. Her glow faded to almost nothing. It requires a Velocian to operate it. Someone has to connect directly to the Dominion network, channel the resonance through their body, through their crystalline structure. And then what? Taemin asked, though he already knew. He could see it in her face, and then that person burns out. Their consciousness scatters across the network. They die. No, Taemin said immediately. We find another way. There is no other way, Yuna said. This is what the prophecy meant. The crystal walker who holds back the darkness. This is what Jiwoo saw. This is why she carved my name. You do not know that. Yes, I do. She looked at him. Her eyes were full of determination and fear. I have always known I would die young. My mother told me the same thing before the Dominion killed her. She said our family line was cursed with foresight. Small moments, flashes, I knew I would not grow old. I just did not know why. Now I do. Before Taemin could argue, voices came through their radio. Hyunwoo's voice, someone is here. A ship just landed. Multiple contacts, they ran back to the entrance. Outside, a small fleet had arrived. 7 ships. 5 of them were human. 2 were Velocian. Figures in environment suits were walking toward the archive. The lead figure waved. His voice came through on an open channel. Taemin? That you? Who was asking? Taemin kept his hand near his weapon. Daewon. We served together. Mars Defense, you saved my life during the breach, Taemin remembered. Daewon had been a young soldier then. Good instincts. Strong fighter. What are you doing here? Same as you. Looking for hope. Daewon and his people reached them. Dr. Sora contacted me. Told me about the Dominion fleet. About the prophecy. About you and the girl. We want to help. Help how? Yuna asked. We are resistance fighters. Been harassing Dominion scouts for years. Small victories. Nothing big. But Sora thinks maybe we can do something bigger. If we have the resonance engine. One of the Velocians stepped forward. She was very old. Her crystalline skin had faded to pale white. Her glow was barely visible. I am Bora, she said, elder of the scattered clans. I knew about this archive. I helped hide it before we fled. But I did not know about the prophecy. Not until now. She looked at Yuna. You are young. Too young to carry this burden. I know, Yuna said. But here I am anyway. Bora touched her face gently. Your mother was Hana. I knew her. She was my sister's daughter. You have her courage. Yuna's glow brightened. You knew my mother? I held you when you were born. On Tal 4. Before the darkness came. They went back inside. All of them. Daewon's team started working on the resonance engine. They had engineers. Smart people. They understood the technology better than Taemin did. Sora appeared on a communication screen. She looked older than before. More tired. I have been translating more of Jiwoo's writings, she said. There is something you need to know. Something bad. What? Taemin asked. The 8th name. The person who came before Yuna. They failed. Failed how? They were supposed to stop the Dominion at Krasvin system. 2 years ago. But when the moment came, they could not do it. They could not make the sacrifice. Billions died. The entire system was consumed. Yuna went very still. What was their name? It does not matter now. They are dead anyway. Killed themselves after. The guilt destroyed them. Sora looked at Yuna through the screen. What matters is that you are the correction. The second chance. But the stakes are higher. If you fail, the Dominion does not just take one system. They take the human core worlds. Trillions of lives. No pressure then, Yuna said quietly. Daewon came over with a data pad. Got the final calculations. The engine will work, but we need to deploy it on the Dominion command ship. Get it right into their network hub. That means boarding the ship. How many ships do they have? Taemin asked. Latest count is 5,000 vessels. We have 7. Plus whatever other resistance fighters respond to our call. Maybe we get up to 50. 50 against 5,000, Hyunwoo said. I have faced worse odds. No, you have not, Taemin said. Okay, I have not. But I am old. Might as well die doing something useful. Bora spoke up. The scattered clans will come. When I tell them what we are doing, they will come. My people are tired of running. Over the next day, more ships arrived. Resistance fighters from human colonies. Philosian refugees who heard the call. Smugglers who hated the Dominion. Pirates who wanted revenge for lost friends. Not an army. Just people with nothing left to lose. Day 1 gathered them all in the largest chamber of the archive. 43 ships total, maybe 3,000 fighters, against 5,000 Dominion vessels. We cannot win a direct fight, Day 1 said, so we do not fight direct. We create a corridor, punch through to the command ship, get Taemin and Yuna on board with the engine. They activate it. The network goes down, the fleet shuts off, and if we fail, someone asked, then we die. But we die fighting. Not running, everyone agreed. They had all been running too long. That night, Taemin found Yuna alone in the archive. She was sitting by the crystal pillar, staring at the ancient names. Cannot sleep? He asked. I do not want to. Sleeping means morning comes faster. Morning means we leave for the battle. Taemin sat beside her. The blade was in his hands. He had been carrying it constantly since Haven 7. Jiwoo carried this into every battle, he said. My father told me that. She said it kept her alive. Made her lucky. Do you believe that? No, but I think she believed it. Maybe that was enough. Yuna took the blade from him. She held it carefully. Will you teach me? Teach you what? How to use it properly, the way your ancestor did. Why? Because if I am going to die using that engine, I want to know I died as a warrior, not just as a sacrifice. Taemin looked at her. Really looked at her. She was young. Too young. But her eyes were old. Older than his, yes, he said. I will teach you. 3 days. That was all they had before the Dominion fleet reached human space. 3 days to prepare. 3 days to learn. 3 days to accept what might be their last days alive. Taemin started teaching Yuna in the empty hangar bay. The ceiling was high. The floor was clear. Good space for practice. Hyunwoo watched from the side, making notes on a datapad. Hold it like this, Taemin said. He positioned her hands on the blade's grip. Not too tight. Let it move with you. Yuna adjusted her grip. The blade felt strange in her hands. Heavy but also light, like it wanted to move, now the basic form. Watch me first. Taemin showed her the movements. Step forward. Blade rises. Cut down, step back. Blade returns, simple, clean. The foundation of everything else. Yuna copied him. Her first try was clumsy. Her feet tangled. The blade wobbled. Again, Taemin said. She tried again. Better this time. Her body was learning the rhythm. Again. By the 10th repetition, something changed. Yuna's movements became smooth, natural. Her feet found the right positions without thinking. The blade moved like it was part of her arm. How did you do that? Taemin asked. I do not know. My body just knew where to go. Hyunwoo looked up from his pad. Muscle memory, but how? You never trained in this before? No, Yuna said. She looked confused. But it feels familiar. Like I have done this before. In a dream, maybe. Taemin remembered what Sora said. About temporal echo syndrome. About consciousness touching other timelines. What if Jiwoo's visions created a connection? What if fragments of her skill, her knowledge, somehow reached the people she named? He showed Yuna more forms, more techniques. Each time she learned faster than she should. Her body remembered things her mind did not know. By the end of day 1, she was moving through sword forms that took most students months to learn. On day 2, they sparred. Taemin used a training blade. Yuna used the real one, but carefully. They moved around the hangar. Steel meeting steel. She was fast. Faster than him. Her Velocian body was built different. Stronger, more flexible. But he had experience. He knew how to read an opponent. He saw her patterns. Found openings. Tapped her shoulder with a training blade. Dead, he said. Again, she said. They went again. This time she lasted longer. She adapted to his style. Started predicting his moves. When he tapped her ribs, she was already moving away. Almost fast enough. Dead, he said. Again. By the 100th bout, she was winning half the time. By the 200th, she was winning more often than not. Taman was breathing hard, sweating. Yuna barely looked tired. Your people are built for war, he said. No, we are built for art. Music, creating beautiful things. That is what makes this so sad. We had to become warriors because someone else decided we were resources. That night, the resistance fleet gathered. Daewon showed them the battle plan. It was simple because it had to be. Complicated plans fell apart in combat. We jump in here. Daewon pointed at the star map. Threshold gate, it is a jump point. The Dominion fleet has to pass through it to reach human core worlds. We hit them there. How do we create the corridor? Someone asked. Brute force. Every ship fires everything at the command ship's escorts. Clear a path. The silent promise Taman's ship goes through. Fast gets to the command ship. Taman and Yuna board it. The rest of us hold the line. For how long? However long it takes. Everyone knew what that meant. Most of them would die. Maybe all of them. But they did it anyway. On day 3, Taman found Yuna sitting alone outside. She was looking at the stars. Her glow was soft and sad. Tomorrow, she said when he sat beside her. Yes, I am scared. Good. Fear keeps you alive. Not this time. She looked at him. I have been thinking about what Sora said. About the 8th name. The person who failed because they could not sacrifice themselves. I understand them. What do you mean? I do not want to die, Taman. I thought I accepted it. But now, after training with you, after meeting Bora and learning about my mother, after seeing that there are people who care, now I want to live. I want to see what happens next. Taemin did not know what to say. He wanted to tell her she did not have to do this, that they could find another way. But he knew there was no other way. The math was clear. One life to save trillions. It was not fair. It was not right. But it was reality. My father told me something once, Taemin said. He said Jiwoo used to say that the bravest thing a person can do is to be scared and still move forward. Not because they are not afraid, but because something matters more than the fear. What mattered more to her? The people who would come after. The children who would be born because she fought. The future she would never see. Yuna was quiet for a long time. Then she said, I chose my name because it means gentle. I wanted to be soft in a universe that was hard. But maybe I chose wrong. Maybe I should have picked a name that means brave or strong. No, Taemin said. You chose right. Being gentle in a hard universe takes more strength than being hard. You are the bravest person I know, she looked at him. Her glow brightened. You barely know me. 3 days. Some people you know in 3 minutes. The time does not matter. She leaned against his shoulder. They sat like that for a long time, watching the stars. Not talking, just being there together. Later, Hyunwoo found them. Got something to show you both. Come to the archive. They followed him inside. Bora was there along with Sora on the communication screen. Between them was a hologram. It looked like Jiwoo, young, strong, wearing combat armor. This is a recording, Sora said. I found it in the military archive. Jiwoo made it the night before she died. The night she carved the names. I think you should see it. The hologram moved. Jiwoo spoke. Her voice was rough, tired, but determined. If you are watching this, you are one of the 17. One of the names I saw in my dreams. I do not know if I am crazy. Maybe I am. The doctors think so. But I know what I saw. I saw faces. I heard names. I saw moments where everything balanced on a knife edge. Where one person made the difference. She looked directly at the camera. Directly at them, I saw you die. Most of you. I saw you sacrifice yourselves. I saw the pain, the fear. I am sorry I could not be there with you. I am sorry this burden fell to you. If I could take your place, I would. But I cannot. I can only give you what I have. My skill, my will, my determination. It is in the blade. In your blood. In your bones. You will know what to do when the moment comes. The recording paused. Sora spoke up. There is more. This is the important part, Jiwoo continued. To the 9th name. To Yuna. I saw you most clearly. I do not know why, but I saw you smile. At the end. When it should have been impossible to smile, you smiled. That is how I know we win. That is how I know it was worth it. Because someone who is truly defeated does not smile. Hold on to that. Remember it when the darkness comes. The recording ended. The hologram faded. Yuna was crying. Her tears glowed as they fell. Taemin put his arm around her. She saw me smile, Yuna whispered. How can I smile when I am dying? Maybe, Bora said gently, because you will know it worked. That everyone is safe. That the sacrifice meant something. Day 1 entered the chamber. Fleet is ready. All ships accounted for. We jump in 6 hours, 6 hours. Not even a full day. Taemin felt time slipping away too fast. I'm going to rest, Yuna said. Or try to. I will walk with you, Taemin said. They left the archive together. The other ships were visible in the distance. Small lights against the dark moon. So few ships, so much hope riding on them. At the silent promise, Yuna stopped. Thank you, she said. For teaching me. For not treating me like I'm already dead. You are not dead yet. No, not yet. She smiled. It was small and sad but real. See you in 6 hours. See you then. She went to her quarters on one of the other ships. Taemin watched her go. Then he went to his own quarters. He did not sleep. He spent the time sharpening the blade, making sure it was perfect, making sure Yuna would have every advantage when the moment came. Hyunwoo found him an hour before the jump. You love her, the old man said. I barely know her. You love her anyway. Taemin did not argue. Because it was true. 3 days. That was all it took. 3 days to meet someone who changed everything. If this works, Hyunwoo said, if we actually survive this, what will you do? I have not thought that far ahead. Think about it now. Give yourself something to fight for besides just duty, Taemin thought. What would he do if they survived? If Yuna survived, the answer came easily. I would carve new names on the blade, he said. Names we choose. Not destiny. Not prophecy. Just people we believe in, Hyunwoo smiled. I like that. A better future than the one Jiwoo saw. Maybe that is the point. Maybe we are supposed to make it better, not just accept what was seen. The alarm sounded. Time to launch. Time to jump to Threshold Gate. Time to face the Dominion fleet. Taemin picked up the blade. It felt different now. Lighter, like it was ready. He met Yuna at the boarding ramp. She was wearing light armor. Her skin glowed bright, determined, beautiful. Ready? He asked. No, she said. But let us go anyway. They boarded the silent promise. Hyunwoo was already in the pilot seat. Around them, the resistance fleet powered up. 43 ships against 5,000. Impossible odds. But they flew anyway, because sometimes impossible was all you had. The jump through hyperspace lasted only seconds but felt like hours. Taemin gripped his seat as reality bent around the ship. Then they emerged at Threshold Gate and everything went silent. The Dominion fleet filled the view screen. Thousands of ships, each one massive, dark metal, cold lights. No curves or beauty, just function, just hunger. They know we are here, Hyunwoo said calmly. They are turning toward us. Daewon's voice came through the communications. All ships hold formation. Wait for my signal. Make every shot count. We only get one chance. The resistance fleet formed a wedge. 43 ships against an ocean of metal. Taemin could see fighters launching from the Dominion vessels. Hundreds of them. Maybe thousands. Yuna sat beside him in the co-pilot seat. She was holding the blade. Her glow pulsed in rhythm with her breathing. Steady. Controlled. She had moved past fear into something else. Acceptance, maybe. Or determination so strong it looked like peace. The command ship is the big one in the center, Hyunwoo said. We need to get within boarding range. About 500 meters. That is very close, Taemin said. Yes, it is. Daewon's signal came. All ships, attack.
For humanity.
For the lost worlds, attack. The resistance fleet surged forward. Every weapon fired at once, missiles, plasma beams, railgun rounds. The space between the fleets lit up like a sun being born. The Dominion responded. Their weapons were precise, calculated, no wasted shots. 3 resistance ships exploded in the first 30 seconds. Stay on course, Daewon shouted. Keep the corridor open. 2 Velocian ships swept in from the sides. They moved like dancers. Impossible maneuvers that no human pilot could match. They drew fire away from the others. One of them took a direct hit and went spinning into the void. Hyunwoo pushed the silent promise through the chaos. Explosions erupted on all sides. Debris bounced off their shields. Taemin watched the distance counter. 3,000 meters. 2,000. 1,000 more ships died. Human and Velocian both. The corridor was closing. The Dominion was adapting to their strategy, focusing fire on the ships creating the path. "We are not going to make it," Taman said. Then Bora's ship appeared. The old Velocian had been holding back, waiting. Now she flew directly at the command ship's escorts. Her ship was old, modified. Strange energy readings came from its core. "What is she doing?" Yuna asked. Bora's voice came through on their channel. It was calm, almost happy. "I am very old. I have lived long enough. Tell my people I was not afraid." Her ship rammed the nearest escort at full speed, but it was not just a ram. Her ship exploded with a blast that tore through 3 Dominion vessels. An antimatter core. She had been carrying a bomb. "No," Yuna screamed, but the sacrifice worked. The path was clear. Hyunwoo gunned the engines. The silent promise shot through the gap. 500 meters. 400. 300 Dominion fighters swarmed them. Hyunwoo spun the ship, firing the dorsal guns. 2 fighters exploded. 3 more took their place. "I cannot shake them," Hyunwoo said. Daewon's ship swept in beside them. It was damaged, trailing fire, but his guns still worked. He cleared the fighters from their path. "Go!" he shouted. "We got your back, go!" 200 meters. 100. The command ship filled their view. It was enormous, the size of a city. Black metal covered in weapons. Hyunwoo matched their speed with the command ship. Found a docking port. The ship shook as he connected the boarding tube. "You are docked," he said. "Atmosphere is stable. Go fast. I will keep the ship here as long as I can." Taman grabbed his gear. Yuna was already at the airlock, blade in hand. They could hear fighting outside. The resistance was dying to keep them alive. "Be careful," Hyunwoo said. "Both of you." "You too, old friend," Taman said. The airlock opened. They ran through the boarding tube into the Dominion command ship. Immediately, defense drones appeared. Small flying machines with cutting lasers. Yuna moved first. The blade sang through the air. 3 drones fell in pieces. She did not stop moving. Her training took over. Every form Taman taught her. Every technique, but also something more, something that came from deeper. From Jiwoo's vision, maybe. From destiny, Taman fired his pistol. 2 more drones exploded. They ran through the corridors. Everything was dark, cold. The walls were alive with data streams. The Dominion's consciousness processing information, planning, calculating. "The network hub is deep inside," Taman said. "According to the blueprints, we need to go down 5 levels. They found a lift shaft. Jumped down. Gravity was lighter here. They fell slowly, used their jets to control the descent. Drones followed them down. Yuna cut them from the air. Level 4. Level 5. They reached the bottom and ran into something worse than drones. Combat machines, human-sized, armed with plasma weapons, built to kill. The first machine fired. Taman barely dodged. The blast melted the wall behind him. Yuna leaped over him and slid under the machine's guard. The blade cut through its legs. It fell. She stabbed down through its core. It went dark. 2 more machines appeared. Then 4, then 10, too many, Taman shouted. Yuna stood between him and the machines. Her glow brightened until it was blinding. The blade moved so fast it looked like liquid light. Machines fell, but more came. A blast caught her shoulder. She stumbled. Taman caught her. "Keep going," she said. "I can hold them." "Not alone, you cannot." He fired past her, took down 2 machines, but his ammunition was running low. They were running out of time. Then Daewon's voice crackled through their radios. "Taemin, we are coming in. Bought you some time." Explosions rocked the ship. The resistance had followed them. Boarding parties hitting the command ship from multiple angles, drawing away the defenses. The way was clear. Taemin and Yuna ran through twisted corridors, past dormant machines. Deeper into the heart of the ship, they found it. The network hub. A massive chamber filled with processing cores. Data flowing through crystal matrices. The Dominion's brain. Yuna set down the resonance engine. Taemin helped her connect it to the network. The device hummed to life. Lights pulsed across its surface. "It is ready," Yuna said. Her voice was quiet. "I just need to activate it." "Wait," Taemin said. "Before you do this, before we end this, I need you to know something." "What?" 3 days ago I was nobody. Just a mercenary. No purpose, no future. Then you appeared. You changed everything. You made me remember what it means to fight for something. Someone. Yuna's eyes filled with tears. Taemin, I know we barely know each other. I know this is not the time. But if this is the end, I need to say it. I would have liked more time. A lifetime, maybe? She touched his face. Her hand was warm. Me too. But we do not get to choose our time. We only get to choose what we do with it. She turned back to the engine. Her hands moved toward the activation panel. Taemin made a decision. A crazy, impossible, stupid decision. He grabbed her hand. What if you do not have to die? He said. What do you mean? Sora said the engine needs a Velocian consciousness. But what if it had more? What if it had human consciousness too? 2 minds instead of 1? That is not possible. Neither is your name on a 400-year-old blade. Neither is us being here right now. Possible does not matter anymore. He took the blade, cut his palm. Blood welled up. He pressed his hand to hers. Their blood mixed. Human and Velocian, red and glowing blue. What are you doing? Yuna asked. Something stupid. Together. He placed his other hand on the engine next to hers. They activated it together. Pain came first, blinding, overwhelming. It felt like their minds were being pulled apart, scattered across a vast network. Taemin felt himself dissolving. Then he felt Yuna, her consciousness wrapped around his. They were connected, truly connected, 2 minds in 1 space, supporting each other, anchoring each other. They fell into the Dominion network. It was vast, endless, billions of calculations happening every second. Cold logic, pure efficiency. No room for emotion, no space for doubt. But they brought something the Dominion did not have. They brought memory. They brought feeling. They brought every moment that made them human and Velocian. Taemin remembered his father. Dying slowly, still smiling, still telling jokes, still human even at the end. Yuna remembered her mother, standing in front of her during the invasion, using her body as a shield, dying so Yuna could live. They remembered Bora, flying into death with peace. Choosing sacrifice, choosing purpose. They remembered Daewon and Hyunwoo, fighting impossible odds, never giving up, never surrendering. They remembered Jiwoo, carving names in hope, believing in people she would never meet, trusting the future, and they remembered each other. 3 days that felt like a lifetime, 3 days that changed everything. The memories flooded the network. The Dominion tried to process them, tried to understand. How could beings fight when defeat was certain? How could they sacrifice when survival was possible? How could they care about others more than themselves? The logic failed. The calculations broke. The network started shutting down. Outside in the real world, Dominion ships went dark. Thousands of vessels just stopped, floating dead in space. The Resistance fleet stopped firing. They watched in shock as the enemy simply turned off. Inside the network, Taemin and Yuna held on to each other. They were burning out. Consciousness fading. This was the end, but they were together. That made it bearable. Yuna's last thought was clear and bright. She was smiling. Just like Jiwoo saw, because she knew it worked. Everyone was safe. The sacrifice meant something. Taemin's last thought was the consciousness returned slowly. Like surfacing from deep water, Taemin became aware of things one at a time. The taste of blood in his mouth, the feeling of cold metal under his back, the sound of alarms, the smell of burnt circuits. He opened his eyes. The network hub was dark except for emergency lights. Smoke drifted through the air. The resonance engine was melted slag, destroyed by its own power. Next to him, Yuna was not moving. No, Taemin whispered. He crawled to her. His body felt wrong, too heavy, too slow, but he made it. He touched her face. Her skin was cold. Her glow was gone. No, no, no. He pressed his fingers to her neck, searching for a pulse, for any sign of life. There. Faint. So faint he almost missed it. But there. Yuna, wake up, please. Her eyes opened. Barely. The color was wrong. Dim. She looked at him without recognition at first. Then awareness came back. Taemin, I am here. We are alive? Yes, I do not know how. But yes. She tried to sit up, failed, fell back. Everything hurts when I know. His radio crackled. Hyunwoo's voice. Broken with static, but there. Taemin? You alive? The fleet just went dark. Every Dominion ship. What happened? We did it, Taemin said. The engine worked. Yuna is hurt. I need medical help fast. On it. Daewon's team is cutting through the ship now. They will reach you soon. Taemin held Yuna's hand while they waited. He could feel something strange. A connection. Her thoughts. Faint echoes in his mind, and she could feel his thoughts too. He saw it in her eyes. The surprise. The confusion. What happened to us? She whispered. I think we are linked now. From the network. From mixing our consciousness, I can feel you. Your worry, your fear. I can feel you too, your pain, your exhaustion. Is this permanent? I do not know. Boots sounded in the corridor. Daewon appeared with 4 soldiers. One of them was a medic. They ran to Yuna first. The medic started scanning her. She is in bad shape, the medic said. Critical. We need to get her to a real medical facility. Now. What about him? Daewon asked. He will live, but both of them need treatment soon. They carried Yuna through the dead ship. Taemin walked beside her, refusing help. Every step hurt, but he did not care. They reached the silent promise. Hyunwoo had it ready. Engines hot. Medical bay prepped. They laid Yuna on the bed. Hyunwoo already had the ship moving, jumping away from threshold gate, toward the nearest medical station. Taemin sat beside her, holding her hand. The connection in his mind grew stronger. He could feel her slipping, her body shutting down. The resonance had burned too much, damaged things that could not be repaired easily. Stay with me, he whispered. Fight, her eyes opened. Looked at him. Tired of fighting, then rest, but do not leave. Trying the jump took 6 hours. 6 hours of watching her fade. The medic did everything possible. Kept her stable. Kept her breathing. But it was not enough. They needed specialists. Equipment they did not have. When they docked at the medical station, doctors were waiting. They took Yuna immediately. Rushed her into surgery. Taemin tried to follow, but they stopped him. You need treatment too, a doctor said. Your neural pathways are damaged. If we do not treat it now, you could have permanent problems. I am fine. No, you are not. Let us help you. We will take care of her. I promise. Reluctantly, Taemin let them treat him. They put him in a scanner. Ran tests. Asked questions. How long were you in the network? How much data did you process? Do you have any memory loss? He answered automatically. His mind was with Yuna. Through the connection, he could feel the doctors working on her. Feel the machines keeping her alive. Feel her consciousness small and fading. Hours passed. Days maybe. Time felt strange. The connection made it hard to tell where he ended and she began. He dreamed her memories. Saw her childhood on Tal 4. Felt her terror during the invasion. Experienced her grief for her mother. And she dreamed his memories. His father's death. The wars he fought. The emptiness he felt before meeting her. Finally, a doctor came to see him. An older woman named Haewon. She specialized in consciousness transfer trauma. You are both very lucky, she said. Most people who interface with a network like that die instantly. Complete neural dissolution, but you two somehow survived. You anchored each other. Will she be okay? Taemin asked. Physically, yes, eventually. The damage to her crystalline structure will heal. But there are side effects. You both now carry fragments of each other's memories, pieces of each other's minds. It is not a merger. You are still separate people, but you will always be connected. How connected? We do not know yet. This has never happened before. You are unique. Both of you. They let him see Yuna the next day. She was awake, sitting up in bed. Her glow was returning. Weak but there. She smiled when she saw him. You look terrible, she said. You do not look great either. She laughed, then winced. Hurts to laugh, then do not laugh, cannot help it. We won. We actually won. The Dominion fleet is destroyed. Taemin sat beside her bed. Not destroyed. Just shut down. Sora says the main Dominion intelligence is still out there. Somewhere. The fleet we fought was just a vanguard. A scouting force. So we did all of this and the war is not over? No, but we proved something. We proved they can be stopped. Other species saw what we did. They are coming back, starting to fight back. Yuna looked out the window. In the distance, ships were arriving. Dozens of them. Different species, different designs, all coming to join the resistance. A fleet, she said. An actual fleet. Daewon is forming it into something organized. Calls it the Coalition Defense Force. Humans and Velocians leading it. Others joining every day, but what about us? Taman did not have an answer. What about them? What do you do after saving the galaxy? How do you go back to normal life when you carry pieces of someone else's soul? Over the next weeks, they recovered together. HFY ran tests, studied their connection, determined it was permanent but stable. They could feel each other's emotions, sense when the other was in danger, share thoughts if they concentrated, but they were still themselves. Still separate, the resistance grew. What started as 43 ships became hundreds, then thousands. Species that had fled the Dominion started returning, fighting back. Using the tactics developed at Threshold Gate, Taman and Yuna were called heroes. Their names spread across the galaxy, the human and the Velocian who stood together, who proved that cooperation was stronger than any weapon. But they did not feel like heroes. They felt tired, changed, old despite their years. One day, Sora contacted them. She had news. I have been tracking the other names, she said. The ones Jibu carved. They are appearing, surfacing across the galaxy. People in the right places at the right times. Something about what you did at Threshold Gate had activated them. Like a signal. What do you mean activated? Taman asked. I think Jiwu's vision created a network. Not a physical one, a temporal one. Connections across time. And when you two survived, when you broke the pattern of death and sacrifice, you showed the others a new path. Now they are waking up, realizing their purpose. And how many? Yuna asked. 4 so far? 8 more to find. 17 total. All of you together. That is what Jiwu really saw. Not just individual sacrifices, but a team. A group working together. Taman and Yuna looked at each other. The connection hummed between them. They did not need words. They both knew what came next. They had to find the others. Bring them together. Finish what Jiwu started. Where do we begin? Taman asked. Sora sent them coordinates. There is a colony. Edge of known space. One of the names was reported there. A young human named Minseo. She does not know about the blade yet. About the prophecy. But she is in danger. Dominion scouts found her world. How long do we have? Yuna asked. 3 days. Maybe 4. Taman stood. Yuna stood with him. They looked at each other and smiled. Not sad this time. Determined. Tell Day One we need the silent promise, Taman said. You are not recovered yet, HFY protested. We are recovered enough. They left the medical station the next day. Yunwu was waiting on the ship. He looked older. The battle had aged him, but his eyes were bright. Where to? He asked. To find the others, Yuna said. To build something better than what Jiwu saw. Yunwu laughed. You know, most people retire after saving the galaxy. But not you two. You just keep going. Someone has to, Taman said. They launched. Behind them, the Coalition Defense Force was forming. Ahead of them, another name waited. Another person who did not know their destiny yet. But this time it would be different. This time no one had to die alone. This time they had each other. Taman pulled out the blade. It had been cleaned, polished, repaired. The names glowed under the ship's lights. 17 of them. 17 people scattered across time and space. Should we add more names? Yuna asked. Yes, Taman said. But this time we choose them. Not destiny. Us, she smiled. Took the blade from him. Ran her finger along the edge. Whose name first? Yunwu, Taman said immediately. The old pilot looked back from the cockpit. What? You deserve to be on this blade. You saved us. Multiple times. I just flew the ship. No, you did more than that. You believed when you had no reason to. You fought when you should have run. That deserves to be remembered. Hyunwoo's eyes got wet. 3 weeks after Threshold Gate, Taemin stood in front of a mirror. The person looking back felt like a stranger. Same face, same scars, but different eyes. Eyes that had seen inside a machine mind. Eyes that carried someone else's memories mixed with his own. Yuna appeared behind him in the reflection. She pressed her hand to his shoulder. The connection hummed. He felt her concern. Her worry, still adjusting? She asked. Every day I remember something new. Something that is yours. Yesterday I remembered playing in Crystal Gardens. I have never been to a crystal garden. I remember your father's funeral. I cried, but those were your tears, not mine. It feels strange. Heywan says it will fade. The memories will settle. Become background noise instead of active thoughts. Do you want them to fade? Taemin turned to face her. No, they are part of you. I do not want to lose any part of you, she smiled. Her glow was almost back to full strength. The doctor said she was healing faster than expected. Maybe because of the connection. Maybe because she had something to live for now. The silent promise was docked at Haven Station. Not Haven 7, that station was gone. This was Haven Station Prime, the main hub for the Coalition Defense Force. Thousands of ships came and went every day. The Resistance had become an army. Daewon found them in the observation deck. He wore a commander's uniform now, clean, official. It looked wrong on him. He was a fighter, not a politician. We found her, Daewon said. Minseo, she is alive. But you need to hurry. Dominion scouts hit her colony 2 days ago. She escaped, but they are hunting her. How far? Taemin asked. 4 jumps. Maybe 8 hours total. I can give you an escort. No, we go alone. Fewer ships means faster travel. And if the Dominion is there, a big fleet will just start a battle. We need to get in and out quietly. Daewon nodded. He understood. Be careful. Both of you. We just got you back. I do not want to lose you again. An hour later, they were jumping toward the colony. Hyunwoo flew. Taemin and Yuna prepared their gear. Weapons, medical supplies. The blade carefully wrapped. What do we tell her? Yuna asked. Minseo, how do we explain that her name is on a 400-year-old weapon? That she is part of some prophecy? We tell her the truth. Then we let her choose. No one should be forced into this. What if she says no? Then she says no. And we find another way. But Taemin knew she would not say no. The names on the blade were not random. They were connected. People who would answer the call. People who could not walk away when others needed help. They dropped out of FTL near a dead world. The colony was burning. Ships floated in orbit, torn apart. Dominion scouts patrolled the debris field. I count 12 vessels, Hyunwoo said. Small ones, scouts, but enough to be a problem. Can we sneak past them? Taemin asked. Maybe. If we power down and drift. Pretend to be debris. They tried it. The silent promise went dark. Life support only. They drifted with the wreckage toward the planet's surface. Taemin watched the Dominion ships through the viewport. Cold, silent, hunting. One ship moved closer. Its sensors swept over them. Taemin held his breath. Beside him, Yuna's hand found his. The connection steadied them both. The Dominion ship moved on. They were through. Hyunwoo powered up just enough to enter atmosphere. They descended through smoke and fire. The colony was ruins. Buildings collapsed. Streets torn apart, and somewhere down there one survivor was hiding. How do we find her? Yuna asked. Sora gave me coordinates, a signal. Minseo has been broadcasting on old emergency channels, hoping for rescue. They followed the signal to the edge of the colony, to a collapsed building that had been a school. Taemin and Yuna climbed through the rubble, deeper, until they found a basement. Someone was there. In the shadows, young female, holding a piece of sharp metal like a weapon. Stay back, she said. Her voice shook. I will fight. We are not Dominion, Taemin said calmly. We are here to help. Are you Minseo? How do you know my name? It is complicated, but we need you to come with us. It is not safe here. Nowhere is safe. They killed everyone, my family. My friends, everyone. Yuna stepped forward slowly. I know, the Dominion killed my family too. 20 years ago. I was 5. I understand your pain. Minseo looked at Yuna. Really looked. Saw the crystalline skin. The glow. You are Velocian. Yes. They say your people are cursed. That death follows you. Death followed us. But we did not give up. We survived. We fought back. You can too. Minseo lowered the metal. She was crying. I do not want to fight. I want my mother back. I want my home back. I know, Yuna said gently. But we cannot bring them back. We can only make sure others do not lose their homes, their families. That is what we do now. We fight so others do not have to hurt like we hurt. Minseo was quiet. Then she nodded. Okay, I will come. They climbed out of the ruins together, reached the ship. Hyunwoo already had the engines hot. But as they were boarding, Dominion ships appeared overhead. They had found them. Go, Taemin shouted. They scrambled aboard. The ramp was still closing when Hyunwoo launched. The ship screamed into the sky. Plasma fire followed them. The shields took hits. I cannot shake them, Hyunwoo said. Taemin ran to the weapons station. Started firing back. Took down 1 scout. 2, but more appeared. Too many. Then the sky lit up with weapons fire. But not from the Dominion. From above. Coalition ships had arrived. A dozen of them. Led by a Velocian cruiser with familiar markings, Day One's voice came through. Told you I would give you an escort. You just did not see them. You followed us? Of course I followed you. You are terrible at staying out of trouble. The Coalition ships engaged the Dominion scouts, drew them away, created an opening. The silent promise shot through and jumped to FTL safe. Min Seo sat in the common area, staring at nothing. Shock, trauma. Taemin knew it well. He had seen it in soldiers after battle. In survivors after attacks, Yuna sat beside her. Did not say anything. Just sat there, sharing the silence. Later, when Min Seo was calmer, they showed her the blade. Explained everything, Jiwoo, the prophecy. The 17 names. Threshold gate. So I am supposed to save people? Min Seo asked. Like you did? We do not know yet, Taemin said. Each person is different. Each moment is different. But when the time comes, you will know what to do. What if I do not? Then we will be there to help you figure it out. You are not alone. Not anymore. Min Seo touched the blade carefully, found her name, traced it with one finger. This is real, my name. In old Korean script, from centuries ago, yes. I do not feel special. I do not feel like a hero. Good, Yuna said. Heroes who think they are special usually die stupid deaths. The best heroes are just normal people who do what needs doing. Min Seo almost smiled. Almost. Over the next months, they found more, one by one. The names on Jiwoo's blade. Each person was different. Each story unique. But they all had one thing in common. When called, they answered. There was Jinho, a mechanic on a mining station. He saved 1,000 workers when the Dominion attacked, held the shields together through impossible damage. Bought time for evacuation, there was So Yun, a medic in the outer colonies. She developed a cure for a Dominion bioweapon, saved millions. There was Wu Jin, a pilot who flew through a black hole's edge to deliver critical intelligence. Everyone said it was impossible. He did it anyway. 17 names, 17 people. Slowly they came together. Not as warriors, not as prophesied heroes, just as people trying to do good in a dark universe. They met on Haven Station Prime, all 17. Taemin stood before them with Yuna at his side. The blade lay on a table. Every name glowing under the light. Jiwoo saw us, Taemin said. She saw moments where we would make a difference. And she was right. Each of you has already done something impossible. Saved lives, changed outcomes, made the future better. But we are not following a prophecy anymore, Yuna added. We are making our own choices. Our own future. Jiwoo gave us a start. Now we decide where to go next. What do you want from us? So Yun asked. Nothing, Taemin said. You have already done enough. But if you want to keep fighting, keep making a difference, we would like to fight beside you, as equals, as friends. What about the Dominion? Jinho asked. They are still out there, still coming. Yes, Taemin said. The war is not over. It will not be over for years, maybe decades. But we do not have to fight alone anymore. We have the coalition. We have each other. Min Seo stood up. I am in. I do not have anywhere else to go. And you saved me. I want to help others like you helped me. One by one, the others agreed. Not because they had to. Because they wanted to. That night, they held a ceremony. In the observation deck overlooking the fleet. Thousands of ships. Hundreds of species. All working together, Day One made a speech. Talked about Threshold Gate, about sacrifice and courage. About how 17 names became a symbol of hope. Then Yuna and Taemin added new names to the blade. Not just the 17 from Jiwoo's vision, but others. Hyunwoo, Bo-Ra, Daewon. Every person who died at Threshold Gate. Every person who chose to stand when they could have run. The blade became something new. Not just a prophecy. A memorial. A promise. A reminder of what people could do when they stood together. Weeks turned to months. Months to years. The war with the Dominion continued. Battles won and lost. Worlds saved and worlds lost.